Hey everyone, Patchy CK here with a review of something that isn't exactly along the same lines of the other stuff I've checked out before, but still part of a passion of mine. As much as smartphone cameras have come along in a few short years, I still find myself hauling out my almost 10-year-old Canon Rebel T3 DSLR, equipped with a 250mm telephoto lens, especially when I'm out shooting at the racetrack or on a hiking trip to get those long distance shots. Digital zoom on phones can make up for some distance, but the results usually come up short. In my opinion, you still can't beat the optics of a full-size lens and associated camera for long-range shooting. But carrying around a bulky camera can be cumbersome and a little annoying considering how much you can do with a modern smartphone. So as the number of telephoto lenses for smartphones has increased and their prices have decreased, I was interested to see just how well or not one of these would be in the real world. Now, I didn't really think this would completely replace my DSLR, but I was hoping for something to fill the mid-range scenarios where the digital zoom will not suffice and having my DSLR with me would be impractical. So around Christmas, I took the opportunity to look for one of these smartphone telephoto lens kits for myself. There are plenty to choose from on Amazon. I wanted something that had a few types of lenses, was compact relative to my DSLR, under $50, and had a decent number of reviews. I was most intrigued by the CoPedvic branded kit because it had all the features I was looking for, and at $35 it seemed like a good way to start playing around with these kits. And if I liked it, maybe look into picking up a more sophisticated kit in the future. Also, with almost 3,500 reviews, it seemed like a safe bet. Although we'll see why those reviews may be a little disingenuous. Unfortunately, nothing new on Amazon. Let's take a look at what we get. First off, I have to admit, I half expected a thin cardboard box full of individually wrapped pieces like I got with an action cam I picked up recently. But no, everything that comes with the kit is enclosed in this nice for the price, soft plastic carrying case. After a smooth unzipping and opening it up, we find all the pieces of the kit organized into again a surprisingly nice, sturdy but forgiving foam cutout. The foam holder just sits inside the case, so if you wanted to use the carrier for something else, you can. On the back of the lid, you've got a little pouch with a quick guide and a cleaning cloth. I have to say, my first impression just from the packaging is positive, but that feeling soon faded away. One of the add-ons for this kit is a tripod, and while I like it for its compactness, that's pretty much all that's good about it. The whole thing feels dirt cheap. The locking mechanism is rough, the swivel head belongs on a Barbie, and the legs don't have any way to lock them in their extended position. They also don't bend out far enough. When you have a heavy phone on top like a Galaxy Ultra or iPhone Pro, this thing just barely does the job. In conjunction with the included phone clamp, even my old S8 wouldn't stay in place. It kept sliding out of the clamp when it had it mounted vertically. You're better off just getting a better tripod and clamp like the one I use, this Aloon flexible tripod. Excellent build quality and immensely more versatile. You can clamp it almost anywhere. Link to buy it below. Other than the clip, let's focus on the meat and potatoes of this kit, the lenses. I do have to give props to CoPedvic for providing lens covers for both ends of each lens set. A nice touch to protect them from dust and fingerprints. Here we have our 205-degree fisheye lens in this slot. Next to that are the 25x macro and 0.76x super wide lens. These two are attached together from the get-go. It's a little tricky to separate the two on the first try. I found that if you attach the eyepiece to the macro lens and squeeze the eyepiece a little, you have much better leverage to twist off the wide lens. For some reason, they attached the moniker of 4K HD to the super wide lens, which I can guarantee has no bearing on the quality. If you shoot in 1080p, it's going to be 1080p. No lens will change that. Lastly, the pièce de résistance. the 22x telephoto lens. It has some weight to it, it feels solidly built. The gold accents are a little gaudy for me, but it's not a big deal. Adjusting the zoom is fairly smooth and easy at hand with a ribbed dial. I feel like it could still be a little freer to turn. We'll see how it works in the field. Right off the bat, I see a problem. You can't use this thing if you have a case that actually protects your phone, i.e. anything with real substance, like the Spigen Tough Armor case on my S9 Plus. The gap between the lens and the sensor makes it unusable. Now, I won't ding the manufacturer for this, as they can't account for every case in existence, but I don't know, anything would be better than having to take off the case to use the lenses, especially out in the wild, which defeats the purpose of having a protective case at all. Nonetheless, I whipped out an old Samsung S8 and used that to test out the kit, very carefully. Quick note, I know the S8 only has one camera, and many newer phones, even in the budget category, are coming out with multi-camera setups that include wide, macro, and even telephoto lenses built in. This is simply a demonstration of what to expect from this lens kit and not the phone. Another thing I learned right away is that you want to attach the clip without any lenses to your phone first. This makes it way easier to line up the mount before you attach a lens, because it becomes especially difficult to line up the telephoto lens once it's screwed in, as you can only rely on the picture from the screen to see if it's properly aligned. Once you have that set up and screw in the telephoto lens, be aware that unless you have the hands of the guy that does the pinstriping in the Bentley factory, you'll definitely want to use a tripod, especially if you are at full zoom, because even the slightest move from you translates to huge shifts in the picture, so mounting it up is the best way to go. The last word of warning is that you want to be careful when adjusting the zoom. If you go too far when zooming back in, you'll start to unscrew the lens from the mount itself. Some kind of locking mechanism would have been nice to prevent this. With all that said, let's look at what you can expect. Your results may vary. Starting with the fisheye lens, here's a shot without the lens. And here it is with it. We are getting our fisheye effect, which is pretty cool. The problem is the outer edges, even before the distorting effect of the fisheye, are blurry and out of focus, which will be a recurring theme. Of course, if you like this effect, then all is good. Otherwise, not so much. Next, our super wide lens. Remember, this lens has to be used in conjunction with the macro lens. Again, here's a shot without it, and here it is with it. We do see more of the surrounding landscape within the same frame. Unfortunately, now all the edges are blurry again, making this shot unusable for me. Now for the 25x macro lens. This is the closest I can get without the lens using the S8. With the lens, we can get a whole lot closer, which is the point. Even though the edges are again distorted, I found the results interesting. I'm probably going to use this lens more often than the others. Here are some other examples using this lens. Finally, the reason I even bought this kit, the 22x telephoto lens. And well, taking into account the issues I mentioned earlier, it works. You can zoom into a target and mostly see it, but the end results are not great. Let's look at a couple examples. We'll start with looking at this gaggle of geese, more specifically zooming in on this guy guarding his brethren. Here's a shot without zoom to get a perspective of how far away the geese are from my position. To quickly compare the results, here's a shot using the digital zoom. Pure garbage, not surprising. Next up, a shot from the DSLR zoomed in a bit. Nice and clear. Now the telephoto lens. Unlike the other lenses, there was this persistent darkened halo that would not go away no matter how perfect I aligned the lens. This was present at every zoom level, including these mid-range shots of these geese. Once again, only the center of the picture is actually clear, and nothing I did would fix it. While there are times when this effect would add a creative flair, always having it is a problem. Trying to use this on a moving target is nearly impossible. Here's another example of a longer range shot. I'm sitting on the bank across the lake from this historic covered bridge. From this shot, you can tell I'm a good bit away. Using Google Earth, it comes out to roughly 1,300 feet or 400 meters. Here's a shot zoomed in using the DSLR. Not bad and easy to freehand thanks to the camera's size and heft. Here it is with the lens at just almost max zoom. Once again, the center is clear and the rest is awful. One last thing I wanted to try was something I saw on the Amazon page for this kit, a bunch of moonshots. I gave it a try and here's my entry. Not bad, right? Nah, just kidding. I took this with the DSLR on the first try and without a tripod. Try as I might, I just could not get close to that same clarity with the lens and tripod. Maybe if I spent a bunch of time trying to get the focus just right and the settings perfect, I could get a good shot, but the fact is, it's too much of a hassle to work with. Speaking of the Amazon page, this thing had over 3,500 reviews, with the vast majority of them 4 stars or higher, which wasn't the only thing that swayed my decision to buy this particular kit, but it was a factor. After I received my lens kit, I found out how they got so many positive reviews. In the box, I got a, "Hey, you're special. Here's a free gift." Basically, you go to the website and choose among a few gift options, including a $20 Amazon gift card. Just provide your email, shipping address, and purchase information. I'm thinking, hey, this is actually nice. Until a few hours later, after submitting my info, when I got an email telling me I'll get my free gift after I show proof of a written review. Now, it didn't explicitly say it had to be 5 stars or even positive, but I feel like most people would believe that's implied at the risk of losing their opportunity for the gift. So yeah, that's how they got so many positive reviews. I wish Amazon would do something about these pay-to-play schemes. Well, that's it from my look at this lens kit. Overall, disappointed, but I'm not sure what I honestly expected. I doubt I'll go through the hassle of taking off my case and attaching the telephoto lens in the future, unless I'm looking at a stationary target in a location I'll be for a while. Even then, it'll be iffy. Now, I can't see myself using the macro lens on more than one occasion in a controlled environment. All the other lenses I wasn't really interested in to begin with, so meh. I might retrofit the carrying case and foam insert for something else, because those are nice. Now, this has all been my opinion, and quality can be subjective. You might have better luck than I did, but I have a feeling it is what it is. I know not everyone can afford a DSLR, even an old one, but this kit isn't worth it in my opinion. I also believe as the sensors get bigger on smartphones, these lenses won't work unless they too physically get bigger. Plus, with multi-camera setups on even budget phones, these lenses will just get in the way. So in the meantime, I'll still be hauling my Rebel with me to the track. If you peeps think there is a better kit out there, let me know. I might check it out. Links to the stuff I mentioned will be in the description. Like always, if you enjoyed this review, leave a like and share so others can find this content in the future. Until next time, this has been Patrick CK. Goodbye.